videos, and a little bit of money comes in to help us pay for the bills. But there's one thing that I was telling Mark. Every video with Mark's name on it, YouTube has literally turned off. They are fighting what we're saying. They're fighting the message that we're giving out. They're fighting what Mark is doing. And we're going to let Mark say a little bit about what's happening. But that's what's happening to us. And you know what? I finally got hold of somebody in YouTube via Twitter. And what they literally told me is because we oppose child abuse. And here we go. They're going to turn this one off too, because here comes these words: child abuse, sex trafficking, child trafficking, mind control. They said that we're that when we do those words and say those words, that we're offending their advertisers. Seriously, Mark, what's your point? Let's talk about this for a minute.
Well, look, the two things that I've been saying for a long time now that the president has to get control of before the election is, one, he's got to get control of social media because the truth has to get out, especially if they release FISA. You know, the truth's coming out every single day. And now you're seeing they're finally putting a bill forward here for Section 230 to try to release the protection mechanism on these social media stuff. PayPal is another prime example. If someone sends in a PayPal donation to someone, and it's not even for me, it's for someone else, like say yourself, and they mention my name in the comments, thank you, Paul, for what you and Mark Taylor do. That's it. They flag it, and it's automatically frozen. You can't get to the money. And that's supposed to be instant money with PayPal. PayPal has been doing that to me for a long time, and we'll see what happens. But YouTube demonetizing and shutting stuff down, because of all of the buzzwords the AI picks up on, automatically demonetizes or they shut it down. It's going to come full circle at some point. So Trump's going to get control of it at some point. He has to. He knows he's got to. And then he's also got to get control of the voter electoral fraud, which we'll go into here a little bit later in the show.
Yeah. YouTube used to just catch the words, the voice. But now their AI system has developed so much that you can't even put a graphic on there anymore with words, because now they're reading the graphics.
Right.
And that's just crazy. So anyway, everybody out there, if you'd like to donate, please don't mention Mark's name.
Don't mention my name. Hey, look, don't mention my name. In all seriousness, folks, if you give a donation, do not mention my name, period. in the comments at all.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, boy. And also, I want to say thank you to all our subscribers that are subscribing to the channel. I just read the other day that 90% of the people who watch this show are not subscribers. And I thank you in advance for clicking that subscribe button and subscribe to it. It helps the network. No money goes to me. No money goes to Mark. As a matter of fact, I pray for Mark, and you guys pray and pray blessings upon him. In the beginning, I tried offering him some income and some of this money that comes in. He absolutely said no, because that's where his heart is. But all the money goes to the network. So anyway, let's move on from that. God told me in the beginning not to worry about money, so we literally don't worry about money.
That's right.
So a lot's going on in the world today. And this week, I think I tweeted you that I felt something very strong that was going to happen on the 18th, Atonement Day, Day of Atonement. And lo and behold, on the 18th, and God spoke to me, said, he didn't tell me what was going to happen, but he said something major was going to happen on the 18th, and it would change the direction and course of America. Ruth Bader, that was the day that she died. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, that was the day she died, and that will literally change the course of America when her seat is replaced.
Yep, absolutely. And the Democrats know this. The liberals know it. The demons know it. They all know it. And look, let's go back a little bit. Let's go 2 weeks before RBG's announcement of her death, because I believe she's been dead for a little while. That was just the announcement. You know what I mean?
Me too.
And so, God said in that prophecy that he gave me, few years ago about the Supreme Court, that Trump would get a total of five. One would die, one would retire, and then three would be caught in a scandal. And I've been warning people, be careful with the scandal part, because can you imagine removing 3 Supreme Court justices at the same time in this country right now? It would literally create a civil war.
Yeah.
And so, the first two any Supreme Court justice is a big deal. but Trump got the first two, which were more or less conservative. I mean, Kennedy was he was a swing vote, but he was more towards the conservative side.
Right.
So it was a big deal, but it's not as big a deal as this one. And I've been warning about this one when this one was going to come around, when they announced her death, that this is when the fight would be on, because she was the most hardcore liberal judge that sat on that court. She was the spiritual gatekeeper for the dark side on that court. And replacing her was going to swing the court to the conservative side, period. Now, we know we can't trust John Roberts because John Roberts has been compromised, right? So you might as well just forget him. But the point being is that if three are caught in a scandal, I've been warning people, we may never know what that scandal is. This may be their exit strategy, okay? Some may get sick, some may die, some may just say, hey, I'm retiring out. We will never know what that scandal is, because to remove three people off that court at one shot, that would not be a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing, but then again, it wouldn't be, because we'd have, on top of the riots we're already seeing what's happening with RBG. Now, let's go back 2 weeks before RBG announcement of her death. And the president comes out with a new list of Supreme Court justices. That's not a coincidence.
Not at all.
He probably either knew she was dead or knew it was coming, one or the other. It doesn't matter.
I think he knew the announcement was coming.
Knew the announcement was coming. And, I mean, look, we could go all the way back. If we want to we could go all the way back to 2019 when Fox shot that meme up of her death and by accident and pulled it back down real quick in 2019.
Right.
Yeah. She could have been dead since then. Who knows? You know what I mean? I'm not going to go there. But the point being is that they were prepared for it. He comes up with another list. RBG dies that Friday, 2 weeks after he announces this new list or whatever it is. The following Monday, they announce that there's Epstein's new list is going to be coming out, and this list is going to make the last one look like a Post-it note. That's not a coincidence.
At all.
So, not at all. The spiritual gatekeeper is gone, man, as far as on that court goes. So now things are starting to roll into motion here, where we're getting things dropped every single day, and then we get the Biden thing coming up. Hunter Biden with the scandal with this. How they've been into human trafficking. Shocker, right? So nobody should be shocked at this, because, we all knew this stuff was coming. We just didn't know when all of it was going to get dropped or start the real drops of the truth. And this is why it's important, why the president has got to get a handle on the Section 230 stuff with the social media, because these truths have to get out, because the mainstream media is not reporting it.
Right.
They're not saying anything about it.
Right.
I think for the first time, Fox today mentioned something about Biden, but nobody else is really saying anything.
Right.
So this is not all a coincidence. It was perfectly timed, and we're seeing the riots kick up in places again because of RBG. They're trying to stir the pot again. So it was perfectly timed.
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
Yep.
It's what's going on now, and you know what, you tweeted and I posted on Facebook about the same time that there is an acceleration, and I love, and both of us use the word acceleration. There's an acceleration going on in the spirit realm that of truth being unveiled, and that's exactly what's happening. And I've been telling people, and I posted that don't stop at all.
Right.
Keep pushing back against satanic rituals. Keep pushing back against what the enemy is doing. Don't attack the people. Attack the cause. Because if we attack the people, then then we're going to turn into a Maxine Waters, and what she said, push back on the people. So right. We love loud, we love strong, and we love more than what the enemy can hate, and that's right. That's our goal. And there is an acceleration going on in the spirit realm, and God is I just see God waving the fan. He just got a big fan, and he's waving it and waving it and waving it, and the enemy is being exposed more and more and more.
Yeah, it's the acceleration is really starting to kick up to a whole another level right now at this point, because again, you had the RBG thing. They're trying to push through another replacement for RBG before the election. We have to have another Supreme Court justice, because if it does end up in the Supreme Court, you can't have a tie.
Right, at all.
You can't have a tie at all, because I mean this would get nasty at that point. Mm-hmm. Now look, each day that goes by, we're getting closer to the pinnacle of this prophetic timeline called the election. I believe once the election happens, all bets are off at that point. Trump can go in, he can clean the streets up, he can do whatever needs to be done at that point. You know, if everybody's like, well, why does he make the arrest? Because it makes it look like he's a dictator at this point. You know, he still has an obligation to keep the citizens safe, but he's trying to let the governors handle their own states, which the blue governors and blue mayors aren't doing it. So they're exposing themselves. But, you know, once the election takes place, I think Katie barred the door. Look out. He's not going to put up with this trash anymore, period. I think at that point, he's back in as president. He can go in and start arresting a lot of these people, mayors, governors, whatever it is, who the corruption probably is. Now, the ones that everybody wants to see is Hillary, Obama, Clapper, Brennan. Look, I get all that. You know what I mean? But certain assets have to be in place before they do that, because if he arrested him now, it would make it look like he was arresting his opposition.
Oh, absolutely.
Election-wise, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so a lot of this is for optics, and a lot of this is for allowing people to live it out. You can tell someone something, but they don't truly get it. But when they live it out, they're never going to forget it. It gets handed down to one generation to the next.
Right.
And this is what people are living out right now at this point.
Okay.